What will the PlayStation 5 cost at launch? That is the question. How much money should you save up? Well, it seems like Sony doesn't know the answer either and is waiting for Microsoft to reveal their price first. And this means many things that I want to go over in this video. Plus we look at another rumor of a potential PS5 launch game that I would love to see, but I'm not sure we will get. A like on the video would be really appreciated, and let's go. Hunter won a 2020 game of his choice. During my January giveaway, I reached out via the email and I now want to do a new giveaway for the month of February for, again, a 2020 game of your choice. All you need to do is follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win. Be sure you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and good luck. I will announce the winner on March 1st. Sony just put up the first official PlayStation 5 page saying PlayStation 5 is coming, launches holiday 2020. We have begun to share some incredible features you can expect from the PlayStation 5, but we're not quite ready to fully unveil the next generation of PlayStation. And then you can fill out a form for future updates. I will leave a link to the website in the video description. It's a step closer to the reveal, that's for sure, but I do think that maybe a February event now sounds too early. March is still possible. So it feels like we're getting closer to the reveal, but it seems to be all later than we saw for the PS4. Like, that's a given. Really curious to see where it goes from here. Sony just held their Q3 financials, confirming that they made $12.48 billion from the PlayStation Network in 2019. That's insane and expected with the rise of the digital sales and also the increasing numbers of PlayStation Plus subscribers. The digital downloads ratio for games was 49% compared to 37% last year, and the PS Plus subscribers are now 38.8 million, and last December it was 36.3. It's not all great news though, because the PS4 is expected to sell 13.5 million units for the 12-month period ending March 31st, 2020, so that's the end of the fiscal year. Last year they sold 17.8 million units during that same time, so that's a pretty sharp decline that will likely continue this year as we near the holiday of 2020. So yes, the PS4 is dying, the PlayStation 5 cannot come soon enough, because that will of course rank in a lot of extra money, although how much is not really clear. Video Game Chronicle listened to the financial call from Sony, and they got away with some interesting info regarding what Sony's senior EVP and CFO Totoki said about the smooth transition that they want from the PS4 to the PS5. And that makes sense of course, because now more than 100 million people have a PS4, so they want all those people to jump to the next console as soon as possible. So according to Sony, they can control labor cost and personnel cost and really must control that. And they also mentioned that they have to prepare the right volume as we launch this, so the PS5. The PlayStation 4 sold 4.2 million units in a month and a half since the release in 2013. So I think they want to at least sell more than that, and I think the PS5 can totally sell more than that. But yeah, the PS4 was also sold out everywhere, so more units of the PS5 will very likely be necessary. But the price will of course impact the amount of sales. And this is something, according to Sony, that they cannot really control. What is not very clear or visible is because we are competing in the space, so it's very difficult to discuss anything about the price at this point of time, and depending upon the price level, we may have to determine the promotion that we're going to deploy and how much cost we are prepared to pay. So what they're basically saying is that because there's competition of the Xbox Series X that is launching around the same time, it's very hard to discuss a price point, because you cannot go much higher than what Microsoft is doing. And then based on the price point that they in the end do for the PS5, they can push the promotion. Like, I would imagine that if they sell the PS5 at a $500 price point, they will do more marketing, because then they can expect more money in return than if the console is going to be $450 or $400. And this means many things. For one, I don't think we should expect a PlayStation 5 price at the PS5 reveal event. This event will likely happen at the end of February or in March, So that will be before Microsoft will announce their price. And if we go back to 2013 with the reveals of the PS4 and Xbox One, we see that Microsoft announced their price at E3 2013, so in June of that year, $499. I like it how they don't even show it on the screen behind them. While Sony then a few hours later had their own E3 press conference and unveiled the $399 price point that caused a standing ovation. And that's of course one of the big things that helped them get that insane head start over the Xbox One. So makes sense that they want to do a similar approach again. Although you could argue that Sony should not be a pussy, because they come off this very successful generation, right, while Microsoft really needs to catch up. Microsoft will be at E3 this year, where they will likely unveil the price of the Series X. So with Sony implying that they want to wait for Microsoft first, it makes me think that Sony will announce their price after E3, likely during their own event. But yeah, July, August, it's kind of a holiday period, right? So are we looking at a September event then for a price reveal, just like the PS4 Pro? But isn't that too close to the holiday 2020 release? The Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 will be very powerful consoles, but Microsoft will do a different strategy according to Kotaku that of course has been right many times before. They will launch a cheaper version of the next gen Xbox that will be digital only and less powerful than the Series X, so also go for a lower price. So that makes me think that they will go for a $499 price for the Series X and maybe a $399 or $350 price for the cheaper version, and maybe Sony's reaction will then be $450. To still undercut the Series X. Because again, having the cheaper version really helped them during the PS4 generation. It all shows you though that competition is only good for us. And I think it's smart that Sony is not underestimating Microsoft, who is launching with Halo Infinite. That will absolutely be huge for them if the game turns out to be great. I'm really curious what you would pay for the PlayStation 5 at launch. Like, I would be fine with $499 myself if that means that the system is really a beast and a huge step up from the PS4 Pro. Although my prediction is that Microsoft will have a slightly more powerful console and will sell it for a higher price, and the PS5 will be slightly less powerful but will also be a little bit cheaper. But yeah, in the end it's all about the games, and there is a chance that we get a new Ratchet & Clank game at launch. The 2016 PS4 sort of remake or reboot of the original sold extremely well. It was Insomniac's most successful game ever around that time. Now that's of course Spider-Man, but it makes sense that they want to make a new game in that series, especially as a launch game for the PS5, because Sony likes to have a broad offering during a console launch with hardcore games and family-friendly titles like Knack. Well, the equivalent of that on the PS5 could totally be a new Ratchet & Clank game. And this rumor comes from ex-IGNer Colin Moriarty during his Sacred Symbols Plus podcast. So he mentions that the second studio of Insomniac Games in Durham, North Carolina, has been working on a new Ratchet & Clank for a long time, and he now thinks that it's going to be a launch game for the PlayStation 5. He once wrote a long piece on the history of Insomniac, so you would think that he knows some people there. I really hope that this is true, but this exact team did just finish Stormland VR a few months ago for the Oculus Rift. Like, that was also made in Durham, North Carolina. So maybe a smaller team has been working on a new Ratchet & Clank on the side, and now everyone who worked on Stormland will join to finish up this Ratchet & Clank game. They had to make the 2016 Ratchet & Clank in 10 months to have it ready alongside the movie. The movie was then delayed though, so they in the end had more time, but it still shows you that Insomniac is willing to make a new Ratchet & Clank game pretty fast. I would love it. Ratchet & Clank is really one of my favorite series, especially as a kid and growing up as well. I bought my PS3 with Tools of Destruction and the original Assassin's Creed. What a great start of that PS3 generation it was for me. So a new game to kick off the PS5 generation would be awesome. I still find it very ambitious because they just finished their VR title. We will have to wait and see though. When we know more, I will of course let you know here on the channel. So totally subscribe for everything on the PlayStation 5 and the upcoming games. Like this video to support the channel and check out my big previous video on an in-depth look on new rumors and news regarding the next God of War. For now, I will speak to you next time and goodbye.